morning, everyone.
I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Willow Bay. Welcome to Good Morning America Sunday.
And hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We did. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Great one. It was wonderful.
In town you stayed?
Yes.
We went
in New York, my favorite place.
Oh, well, it's nice because everyone leaves New York City.
Right.
Sort of. We have a fun show and an important show for you this morning. We start off with a singer that is just dynamite. She electrified the crew and the studio here during a rehearsal. Her name is Oleta Adams.
Oleta, and you did that very early this morning.
Very early.
Not an easy thing to
It's
do.
not my favorite thing normally, but under the circumstances, it's great to be here.
And you're going to be singing for us a little bit later, right back there over by the piano?
Yes.
You have a new album out?
I do. It's a new, what shall I say, contemporary Christian album.
Come Walk With Me. It's not Come Fly With Me by Frank Sinatra.
Not Come Fly With Me.
Right, no. Come Walk With Me.
Song.
It is a good song. Will you sing that for us later?
Which one? Come Fly With Me?
Yes. No, Come Walk With Me. You will sing a little later this morning.
Good.
Anyway, we look forward to talking to you.
All right.
Also, we recognize World AIDS Day tomorrow. This morning, we're going to look at some of the latest efforts, and some of them very controversial, to find a vaccine for AIDS. And Farai today is going to tell us a little bit about it.
It's really interesting. There are initiatives all over the world to try to develop an AIDS vaccine because the infection rates are just rising rapidly. And it's really a problem, especially across the world internationally, because they don't have access to the protease inhibitors that people in the U.S. do. So they're really hoping that some of these risky moves to inject people will succeed.
30 million people now around the
Absolutely.
world have the AIDS virus. 16,000 a day or something is what I read?
Absolutely. 16,000 new infections a day.
Unbelievable. Okay, that's an
We're
interesting
looking
story.
forward to that.
Also, the height of football season, playoffs begin, what, in a month or so?
Yep.
And there is a controversial solution, proposal.
To crack down on rowdy fans in
Look at these
football
guys.
stadiums. Veterans Stadium, where the Eagles play, has had some real problems, and they really are getting tough on this rowdiness. They have a court set up
Right in the stadium.
in their basement, so you get arrested and processed and sent right down to the judge all on the same day.
Instant justice. Would you like some fries with that fine on jail term? Anyway, we're going to talk to the judge.
I think they'd rather a touchdown with that fine.
Very good. Yes, that's what they want. And we're going to talk to the judge who has instituted this controversial program in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to get caught up on the morning's news, and we'll begin with Will.
Thanks, Bill. We actually begin this morning in Iraq, where the flow of rhetoric grows stronger each day. Here is ABC's Julian Finley.
They shouted, "Down with America," and "America, these are your crimes." It was a parade of coffins, 53 in all. Children Iraqi officials say died overnight. Died because there was no medicine to save them. This man, who says his 14-year-old son died, blames America and the economic sanctions it helped impose. Here, that's a familiar refrain, and publicly at least, no one is willing to blame their own government. Saddam Hussein knows how to get the sanctions lifted. He must cooperate with the UN, and once he cooperates, the sanctions will be lifted.
No, it is not because of the regime. It is because of the stand of the USA against the regime and the people in Iraq.
Today, UN inspectors were again at work with no sign that the dispute over access to what Iraq calls its sensitive sites is any closer to being resolved. Until it is, the UN says it can't close its files on Iraq or end the sanctions. But people here call that an excuse. America's real aim, they believe, is to destroy Iraq's regime. What they want America to know is that it's Iraq's people who are really suffering. Julian Finley, ABC News, Baghdad.
In the Middle East, this weekend marks the 50th anniversary of the UN decision to divide Palestine into two states, one Jewish, one Arab. That, of course, gave birth to the State of Israel. The date was remembered by Palestinians with violent demonstrations in the West Bank and in Bethlehem. In Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with his cabinet this morning to discuss further troop withdrawals. But as ABC's Hillary Brown reports, peace remains an elusive goal.
Even if it is accepted by his own cabinet, Netanyahu's proposal is almost certain to be rejected by the Palestinians who demonstrated here in Bethlehem and in Nablus yesterday. They say Netanyahu's terms are less than those enshrined in the Oslo peace accords 4 years ago. Cabinet ministers say they're actually voting on a new interpretation of those peace accords, and Netanyahu's proposal that there be only one pullback before a final peace agreement. Right-wing Israelis are against any withdrawal, and a few hundred demonstrated outside the Prime Minister's residence last night. Netanyahu's proposal is likely to squeak through his cabinet, but his actions are a matter of growing dismay here. This week, posters of the Prime Minister in Arab headdress with the word liar written above his head appeared on the streets of Jerusalem in an ominous reminder of similar signs seen just before the assassination of the former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. On all sides, feelings are running very high here. Hillary Brown, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Here at home, the effort to keep the information superhighway safe for children takes center stage in Washington this week. Experts from law enforcement agencies and the online industry are holding the very first in a series of online summits. Joining us now is Christine Varney, who put the meeting together. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Willa.
What exactly do you hope to accomplish with this summit?
Well, it's the first time, it's a very historic meeting, that law enforcement and industry, nonprofits, and advocacy groups from across the spectrum are really working together to figure out solutions within existing law to help families and others who take care of kids to protect kids as they move online.
What are some of the specific concrete goals that you'd like to accomplish?
Well, one of the things we want to do is make families aware that there are existing laws that make child pornography and child predation on the internet illegal, and we want to get a working partnership between law enforcement at all levels and internet service providers to help vigorously enforce those laws and apprehend the criminals.
And also, are you working on some sort of public education, public awareness campaign?
Well, that's right, Willa, we are, because one of the things that we've found out as we've been working on this for the last 6 months is that families really do need to understand as their kids go on the internet, it's very much like going to a playground. You know, there are wonderful things in the playground, but there are also sometimes dangers, and we need to educate our kids, and our families need to have rules for when their kids go on the internet, what they can do, what they can't do, and really enforce those family rules consistent with your own family values.
I know that the president actually called for this. Will he be attending at all?
The administration is very involved. We have several cabinet secretaries, the vice president. I don't think the president will actually be there because of his schedule this week, but we've been working closely with the administration and the Congress.
Christine Varney, thank you for joining us, and best of luck with the summit.
Thank you, Willa.
Bill.
Later today, the Philadelphia Eagles will play the Cincinnati Bengals in Philadelphia. So much for our sports report. What's interesting about this is that the referees on the field will not be the only officials making calls on foul plays.
Football fans have always been known for passionately supporting their teams. But throughout the league, rowdy rooting combined with alcohol has, over the past several years, crossed the line to conduct much more dangerous. Cleveland Browns fans shown here showering the field with debris. A Pittsburgh Steelers rooter beaten into critical condition by a Raiders supporter. And Philadelphia Eagles enthusiasts injured 2 people with a barrage of ice and metal-laden snowballs. Now, violence at a televised game about 3 weeks ago led the Eagles to institute a new form of stadium justice. Last Sunday, Eagles home games became home to a new crop of undercover cops, and a basement-level maintenance room was turned into an on-site courtroom. Last week's yield, 20 arrested, 18 fined.
And joining us now from Philadelphia is Judge Seamus McCaffrey. He is the man who is saying guilty or not guilty and ordering people to pay fines. Judge, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, thanks. So it went pretty well last week, and I expect you're expecting something similar this weekend.
We're hoping that it goes as well, if not better. As a matter of fact, we were hoping for a more successful day and have absolutely no arrest made today at the stadium.
And we should make that clear. More success means you don't want any trouble, right? You're not anticipating trouble here.
No, we never anticipate problems, but you know, since that was the first time we've ever done anything like that, we didn't know what to expect. Luckily, it went well. The input we're receiving from a lot of sectors is basically it was a big success, and everybody was happy with the outcome. And we've heard from people from all over that said it was one of the most relaxing and enjoyable days they've had at the vet in a lot of years.
It works well there. I have to tell you, Judge, from a distance, just as a layman and as a non-football fan, I admittedly, it sort of feels a little bit like a rush to judgment. Is there that criticism there in Philadelphia about this?
Well, yeah, but you have to understand something. The courts are always being criticized for being too slow, and that's why in Pennsylvania we have the speedy trial rule. But you can't get much speedier than what we're doing right now. They're taken directly down in front of a judge.
Okay, so no other criticisms besides what you've heard here, I guess, huh?
Well, the criticism that we had actually was wonderful because we were blessed, I should say, and privileged to have members of the Philadelphia Bar Association. Mr. Daniel Paul Alva was there. He helped us come up with some interesting recommendations, I should say, that we've implemented to ensure that everyone had a right rights to an attorney. Appellate rights were there. It was proper. And so everything went well.
All right, Judge, thanks for getting up early, and good luck today. I hope you have nothing to do down there in the bowels of the stadium.
I hope you're right.
All right, Judge Seamus McCaffrey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Interesting proposal, huh?
Good news for fans, it seems like.
It's better if you're in the stadium, and there's no problem, no question about that.
So.
Okay, when we come back, would you risk your life to find a vaccine for AIDS? Well, some people are doing just that, and we will tell you about them when we return. All right? All right. Also ahead. Wait a minute.
Oh, also ahead. Too rich to work, too young to retire. Aw, poor dears. Some of America's newest, youngest millionaires are actually putting some of their dollars to work, and we'll tell you all about them after this.
We'll be right back. You too. In the Sunday forecast, rain and showers will cover much of the West Coast, as well as the mid-Mississippi and Ohio valleys today. Showers and thunderstorms are also likely over the mid-Atlantic states and much of Florida. It will be cold across the northern Rockies, the far northern plains, and the northern Great Plains. Highs there only in the 30s. In the Pacific Northwest, the Central Rockies, and much of the Northeast, highs will be in the 40s. And from Texas to the mid-Atlantic states and across much of the West Coast, highs will be in the 50s. Now, for more on your local weather forecast, check out After the Show, abcnews.com, on America Online, or on the World Wide Web. And GMA Sunday will be right back after this. We should tell you GMA Sunday's weather report has been brought to you by Carnation Good Start.
Would you inject yourself with the virus that causes AIDS if you thought it would lead to a vaccine that could protect others from getting the disease? Would you let your husband do it or your wife? It's not just a hypothetical question. Hundreds of people have decided to do exactly that. And Farai Today is here to tell us all about it.
Well, Willow, tomorrow is the 10th annual World AIDS Day, and it's a time for reflection and a time for hope, but some grim new statistics have come out saying that almost twice as many people worldwide are infected as we previously thought. 30 million people worldwide, 16,000 new infections each day. But what's happening is that a group of volunteers are putting themselves on the line. One of the ways to help end the AIDS crisis might possibly be to inject people with bits of the virus that actually causes AIDS.
That was the first time it kind of came into my life when, you know, two of my very closest friends were diagnosed HIV positive. And, you know, that really leaves a big old scar on you.
Grant Nevin doesn't want other lives to be scarred either. So he's volunteering for a medical experiment which could help find an AIDS vaccine.
What we're doing with this study is testing the concept of using two vaccines at the same time, so that you can cover both virus that might be in cells and virus that might be circulating free in the blood.
Grant doesn't have HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. Researchers hope that by injecting him with incomplete fragments of the virus, he will produce antibodies. And these antibodies might be able to kill the real HIV virus if an infection occurred. But these same antibodies might make volunteers like Grant and Rick Hinkle falsely test positive for the real HIV.
And then I wouldn't be able to give blood. Right. I might be denied health insurance if that were the case.
You know, if discrimination comes your way, then it's, you know, a little bit is worth it. Because, I mean, if this does work and the outcome is a positive thing, then, I mean, everyone benefits.
But the volunteers have to think about health risks as well.
There's a theoretical possibility that the vaccine wouldn't prevent infection, but may actually make it more likely or make the infection more severe.
That hasn't stopped Grant, and it doesn't scare Aileen Kita, who wants to sign up at a site in the South Bronx. Why was it important for you to volunteer, to think about volunteering?
I've had like hundreds of people I know, friends and family members, that have died suddenly from the virus because they didn't go and get tested in time. If other people are not willing, I have to do something to make this a difference.
Because of drug use and unsafe sex, urban neighborhoods have been hit hard.
In all populations, HIV rates of infection have decreased, except in minority women through heterosexual contact and minority men.
People here in the South Bronx and around the world want an AIDS vaccine now. But even if these trials go well, one won't be available for the next 5 to 10 years. One group of medical professionals thinks that trial process takes far too long. They want to inject themselves with a live HIV vaccine. And that could be a deadly risk for the volunteers involved.
most live attenuated vaccines, including that for polio, measles, mumps, and rubella, there's always the risk of becoming infected with the very disease for which you're being inoculated against.
And even though the vaccine is still in development, hundreds of people have offered to be human guinea pigs.
It takes humanity, and I think that it's been impressive to see the outpouring of support.
For the men in Manhattan, the women in the South Bronx, and all the other volunteers, it also takes hope. So how much hope do you have that this vaccine trial, this thing that you are working on right now?
The whole world. That's how much hope I have. It's full of it. The whole entire world.
We'll make it. And it'll be something in the past that we'll look back on, like, you know, the plague or like smallpox or polio.
So you hope to change history?
Change the world.
Change the world, huh? What happens now? Once they've been injected with the vaccine, what happens?
Well, first of all, the researchers are going to be monitoring to see what their immune response is. The whole point is to really put the immune system of the human body in a place where they can move forward and attack any AIDS virus that comes in. So they're going to be looking for antibodies to develop, and they're also going to be looking for a different kind of immunity, cellular immunity.
When will we know any results?
Well, this is only the second of 3 steps, so it's going to take probably 5 to 10 years.
Farai, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Bill?
Willow Farai, this man is Jay Ramrus. And would you marry him? Ladies, would you marry this guy? Because he is looking for a wife, but there's a very important catch, and we're going to tell you about it as Good Morning America Sunday continues. Stay with us. Don't tell what the catch is, Jay.
Good Morning America Sunday is brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service.
When you hear the name Bill Gates, what comes to mind? Microsoft, maybe? Money? Lots of it? Definitely. Gates is one of the richest men in the world, perhaps the richest man in America to be sure, with an estimated net worth of $40 billion with a B dollars. But he isn't the only one who's made a fortune from the high-tech revolution. Microsoft and other companies in the computer industry have turned thousands of their employees into millionaires at a very young age. And as Steve Fox reports, it's not just their wealth that is new, so is their approach to sharing it.
There's something more than just good coffee being made at the Habitat Espresso Cafe. What's brewing here and elsewhere in Seattle are new ideas about philanthropy. All the profits from this coffee shop are donated to charity. It was started by Jeff Reifman with $75,000 of his own money. And what allowed Jeff to become an espresso entrepreneur is his day job at Microsoft.
Microsoft stock has been a phenomenal success, as has much of the stock market the last 5 years or so. And so using those stock options that I've cashed in, I've been able to finance this place.
Jeff is just one of a number of budding baby philanthropists whose charitable instincts are coming of age in Seattle.
According to published reports, Microsoft, with its employee stock options, and the rest of the high-tech industry throughout the Seattle area may have created as many as 58,000 newly minted millionaires. And now some of these techno tycoons who have done well are trying to figure out if they can also do good.
I think there's a lot of feeling that if we are so fortunate to have made this money, that we need to give it away wisely.
Paul Brainerd sold his computer desktop publishing company for $130 million, promptly gave away a third of the money, and started the environmentally oriented Brainerd Foundation. One beneficiary is the Washington Toxics Coalition, which got updated computer technology to spread the word that there are alternatives to toxic chemicals.
It has helped us to communicate more effectively with our staff and our constituency in order to get that word out.
Brainerd's latest endeavor is a group he started last June to train young techno-millionaires in the basics of charitable giving.
The whole idea of what we're doing with Social Venture Partners is to provide philanthropy 101, if you will, to go through the whole process of giving out money in a more strategic fashion than just writing a check.
Trish Malines has both a big checkbook and a grand strategy. After 8 years at Microsoft, she retired a millionaire at age 40. With $150,000 of her own money, she started and now runs a foundation that gives minority teenagers a high-tech leg up.
In order for these students to be able to compete and to get hired by these corporations, they need to be technically prepared. What is your subject you're on? I could simply write a check, I guess, but then things wouldn't work out the way that I think they should work out. I wouldn't
be there to oversee?
Because I wouldn't be there, yeah.
Ultimately, that mindset of being there, actively engaged in the charities themselves, may prove to be at least as important as the techno-millions that are funding these good works.
They're looking for something more than our parents were in terms of writing a check or serving on a board. They're looking for actual engagement with the charity, to see a strategy and to play it out in terms of hands-on involvement.
You could just keep your head down and keep making money for yourself. Instead, you're taking this on.
I could, but I couldn't look at any of the kids that I see now and just look at them and say, I got mine, see you later. I couldn't do that.
What Trish Malines and other young techno-millionaires can do, it seems, is turn the stock options of their past into options for others in the future. This is Steve Fox for Good Morning America Sunday.
And this transfer of wealth is likely to continue. Some reports say that baby boomers stand to get an estimated $12 trillion from their very thrifty parents, and experts in philanthropy say as much as $4 trillion of that inheritance may end up in foundations and charities. Okay, when we come back, Oleta Adams is going to play the piano, sing some songs. Willow?
I'm thinking if I stand really close, I'll get some of these musical genes sort of.
Osmosis?
You
kind
think?
of thing? Nope.
Oleta, what do you think?
Maybe.
It doesn't usually work like that, does it?
Not usually.
Where are we? We're over here. Here we are. Oleta Adams.
Get over there.
I'm sorry. I thought I was looking over
I know,
here.
me too.
All right. Oleta Adams broke into the music scene 5 years ago, 7 years ago, professionally?
Who's counting?
Who's counting? Her first album went platinum. Circle of One sparked 3 top 20 pop singles, including Get Here, which became, I guess, something of an anthem during the Persian Gulf War.
And
yeah,
now
right.
you have a new CD out, which we mentioned a little while ago, Come Walk With Me, and you're going to perform a song from that a little bit later. But let's talk about your song that did become kind of an anthem during the Gulf War. How did that happen?
The song was written by Brenda Russell, and I had been in Europe, in Norway. I happened to hear the song over a speaker in a dress shop, and I fell in love with the song. Right. My boyfriend at the time sent me the tape. I learned the song, went back to the States, and started singing it in the clubs. And when I had the opportunity to record after being discovered by Tears for Fears, that was one of the first songs that I played.
Tears for Fears discovered you, right?
Yes, that's right. They heard me in Kansas City.
Let us hear a little bit of that.
Let's clear this up. You're not Norwegian, right? No, you were just living in Norway. Some people think, is she Norwegian?
Okay.
No.
Stop talking. Start playing. We want to hear just a little.
Get Here.
You can reach me by railway. You can reach me by trailway. You can reach me on an airplane. You can reach me with your mind. You can reach me by caravan. Cross the desert like an Arab man. I don't care how you get here, just get here if you can. There are hills and mountains between us, always something to get over. If I had my way, surely you would be closer. I need you closer. You can win something to my life. Take me up on a carpet ride. You can make it in a big balloon, but you better make it soon.
Boy, can she sing?
Yes, I like that on cue. Go ahead, sing.
I like-
She
what'd you
belts
do?
it out.
On cue.
First I said stop talking and then start playing, which
Did
was
you
not
tell
that
me to
polite.
stop talking?
I did. It wasn't that polite, but I really wanted to hear her sing.
My aunts and uncles will call immediately.
I know,
and
I'm
say,
sorry,
What is
I'm
that woman
sorry,
doing? Don't you
but
stop talking.
she
You were
was
right.
great.
She was great.
And she will be great because she's going to perform from her new CD for us
a little
bit later.
A little later in the show. We are also going to present for you, on his first time on national television, Jay Ramos. He's getting made up over there right now by Michelle Cutler. How you feel, Jay?
I feel so good.
Good. He is looking for love in all the right places. He's looking for a wife. He's come to New York hunting without a gun.
Yep.
And he's
Never really heard
any
it put
success
that way,
yet?
Bill.
Lots of success. Okay.
Lots of success. So
We will check in with
maybe
Jay.
we'll find a bride to take home to Alaska with him.
Oh, that was the secret.
Oh. You can't tell me anything.
No, Willow. We told her not to say it, and you did. It's all right. Don't feel badly. You don't feel badly, do you?
Not at all.
You got to move to Alaska. We're not going to tell you until later.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And then we get to our top story for the half hour.
We do. This morning, the standoff over weapons inspections in Iraq continues, with scores of sensitive sites remaining off limits to UN weapons inspectors. We have two reports this morning. Cokie Roberts is in Washington, but first, Gillian Finley joins us from Baghdad. Good morning, Gillian.
Good morning.
Gillian, tell me a little bit. There's apparently a front page editorial in the Iraqi papers this morning. Tell us a little bit about what that says.
Well, what it does is it compares the situation today to the situation prior to the Gulf War in 1991. It says the U.S. administration is under great pressure to do what George Bush and Bill Clinton could not do, and that is to settle this conflict once and for all militarily. It goes on to say that Washington is perpetrating a campaign of lies and distortions to convince the world that Iraq still poses a deadly threat.
You know, Gillian, it's interesting. Bill and I, sitting here watching your tape report earlier in the hour, we're fascinated by the response that you got from people on the street there. Tell us a little bit about what it's been like for you talking to people and what your sense of their feelings are today.
Well, it's always a little hard to tell in a place like this. Clearly, events like you saw are orchestrated. They're part of a propaganda campaign. The message is very clear that they want to get to the world that we are suffering. Now, for instance, in that march, they were carrying coffins they said contained the bodies of 53 children. Did they really? I don't know. Do 150 children really die each day in this country? I don't know. But I can tell you from having been here for 10 days now that ordinary people here are suffering. There is no question about that. Poor people are really suffering. Even middle-class people are suffering. They've had to give a lot, or they've had to sell a lot of their possessions. They're unemployed. They have to live on rationed food. It's not an easy situation, and there's no question about it. They blame the United States for this.
Gillian Finley, thank you very much for joining us live this morning from Baghdad. We go now to Cokie Roberts, co-anchor of This Week, who joins us every week at this time. Cokie, good morning.
Good morning, Willow.
So, Cokie, we got a little bit of the sense of what is going on in Baghdad. I know this morning you are going to be talking to Kofi Annan from the UN. What is the situation like at the UN right now? Is there a very strong feeling of consensus at this point?
No, I think it's one that has to be hobbled together almost on an hourly basis of keeping the UN behind the U.S. In terms of its decisions about Iraq. And as you know, there have been lots of disagreements inside the coalition, the French and the Russians particularly disagreeing with the question of keeping sanctions on indefinitely, or at least until Iraq has conformed with all of the weapons inspectors, gotten a clean bill of health from the weapons inspectors. I think that right now, clearly, the big issue is this question of getting into these so-called sensitive sites that Iraq has put off limits to the experts. And these are places where the experts who have been there have been saying that they think that it's extremely likely that weapons are getting assembled.
And absolutely, we see absolutely no signs of movement on that front.
Well, that's what the UN will have to decide exactly how tough it's going to be, and that's, of course, what we'll be talking to the Secretary General Kofi Annan about this morning in his first Sunday morning interview. It is really something that the UN will have to stay united enough about to give Saddam Hussein the sense that he can't break the coalition and therefore get what he wants. It is interesting this morning that at the same time that Gillian Finley is telling us about these demonstrations in Baghdad and people saying, you know, these death of these children is your fault, America, that Iraq has quietly decided to re-allow the oil for food program to start up again to get some food to its people. But of course, a lot of that Saddam Hussein has diverted to the elites of his country and to himself.
Now, Saddam is, as you say, allowing that program to start up again. But I understand there is some discussion at the UN about increasing the amount of oil sold and therefore the amount of food going into the country. Where do they stand on this right now?
I think that the way the United States frames it is that they would like to improve the program. As it is, Saddam Hussein has not sold as much oil as he is allowed to under the current program. But there is a sense that the people of Iraq need to be better fed and better cared for with medicines, and how to do that without getting all of the money to Saddam. That's the issue, and that is one that the U.S. diplomats will be trying to figure out. It's a hard call right now, though, Willow, because at the moment, if you do that, it has the appearance of rewarding him or giving him some sort of carrot for very bad behavior.
Yeah.
And that is something that the administration doesn't want to appear to be doing.
Koki, a month into this, it just gets more complicated around every turn. We'll be watching you later on this morning, on This Week.
Thank you, Willow.
Thanks for joining us.
It's not going to end any time soon, that's for sure.
Tough. No good options, it seems. Well, when Good Morning America Sunday returns the Great Tundra Conundrum, I'm not going to say any more.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so how does a nice Jewish guy find true love in Fairbanks, Alaska?
Also, you know, I don't want to say I wasn't paying rapt attention to your interview with Koki, because I was. It was fascinating. But I did notice that our fireplace was not lit.
Oh.
So, Bennett is our executive vice president in charge of lighting the fireplace. We're going to go.
We are?
Light the darn fireplace right now. This is the the fireplace lighting part of our ceremony.
Actually, I'm staying far away from the little butane
Look at
torch
this.
back there.
There it goes. Be careful, Bennett. Executive vice president in charge of this. Now you'll notice we redecorated the set. A little applause. That's very nice. Good job, Bennett. There's not one menorah in all of this Christmas decoration.
Next
so
week.
I have asked Bennett. I've asked Bennett to find one. Look at this. We put one right here.
Very good.
All right. Right there.
Very good. It feels much more complete now.
They'll never remove it from Monday's show, I noticed. We'll be right back.
See you, everybody.
Thank you, Bennett.
You're welcome.
Good job. You really did very well. Wasn't too dangerous? We'll cinch your arm. Bennett has worked at ABC for 41 years. I am told, is this right? This is his first time he ever appeared on camera. So that's just really good. Congratulations, Bennett. We'll have to do it again next year, I guess. People look for love in all sorts of places, but imagine living in Fairbanks, Alaska, where men outnumber the women. Yes, it's true. We have found one man right here, Jay Ramrus, who has come to New York to look for a wife. Before we talk to him, we put together a little tape piece about his escapades.
Oh, I'm exhausted. A 15-hour trip back. It was just out of control.
Call him the hardest working bachelor in America. 33-year-old Jay Ramrus has mastered the dating game.
I spent over $100,000 traveling and crisscrossing the country and flying women to Alaska and back and forth. But
his mission? To find a wife. In the last 3 years, Ramrus has flown to Seattle more than 30 times just for the weekend. Paid a Los Angeles dating service $5,500. Appeared on the cover of Alaska Men and placed full-page ads in other magazines. Overkill? Well, maybe, but Ramrus is not looking for just anybody.
Gotta be Jewish and gotta be able to relocate.
Where? To Fairbanks, Alaska, where 30 below zero is a way of life. And since Ramrus already knows the two single Jewish women in Fairbanks, he's taken his search to New York City. In the last 2 months, he's gone out with more than 40 New York women. So far, only Amy has stolen his heart.
I said, do you think under any conditions, any circumstances, you would even remotely consider moving to Alaska? And she said, I have to tell you.
The answer's not no.
And I said, not no. Not no is not yes, but I could work with not no. So I don't know. But I hope so.
Wow. All right, before we get to Amy, because I know there's a little news on that
Dramatic,
front.
isn't it?
It is. Tell me why did you decide to go on this hunt?
And it is a beautiful, meaningful, spiritual journey.
Okay, now come on. You're a restaurateur, very successful.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Businessman up in Alaska. You introduced chicken wings, buffalo chicken wings, to Alaska. Is this true?
Right from Syracuse University.
Unbelievable. Now, how many men are there compared to women in Alaska?
There's a lot of men.
A lot of men.
There's a lot of men.
And more
There's a
single
fair amount of women. A lot of attractive, beautiful, friendly, wonderful women, but definitely more men.
And there's most of the women are spoken for.
I would say.
All right. So there is this magazine, Alaska Men, which you graced the cover of.
Absolutely.
We showed it earlier. What kind of response have you had to that?
I got a pretty fair response from that. But not a lot of Jewish women responded, so I just kind of took matters into my own hands. My rabbi friend, he said, you pray like it's in God's hands, but then you act like it's in your hands.
Are there not a lot of Jewish women up there?
No, very few Jewish women that are single and available, and you know, attractive.
So you came to the capital of the world when it comes to Jewish women, I guess.
Center of the universe.
New York City. And you've gone out with how many women so far?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot.
How long have you been here?
I've been here 2 months.
You've rented an apartment here?
Subletting on the Upper West Side. Beautiful place.
And you're not going to tell me how many you've gone out with?
Come on, how old are you? I mean, come on.
I'm talking about in the last 2 months.
40, over 40.
40 women
Over
in the
40.
last 2 months.
And working hard.
And you met one that you like a lot.
I just think she's the best.
Her name is Amy. She's off stage right now. We don't want to embarrass her too much. Can we get a camera? There she is.
Oh, she's
wave,
so lovely.
Wave, Amy. We don't want to put too much pressure on.
Of course.
But how long have you guys been going out?
This is our 7th date.
7th date? And today you went out last night?
I know how to impress a girl.
Really?
Yeah, bring her on GMA, come on.
You went out last night?
We went out 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago?
She was with her family. She went to a Broadway show last night. I played football in the park with my little second cousins.
And
we won.
Oh, very good. It was a good football player?
Yeah.
And you're going today where?
Giant game.
To the Giants game. Hey.
She's taking me.
That's pretty romantic. And I understand the other night you went to your 10th reunion.
10th high school reunion.
Did he impress all your old friends?
He sure did.
Oh, well, good luck. I hope this works out. I don't want to put too much pressure. You guys are getting along. That's fine. Good luck to you. Whatever happens is fine. Good luck to you, Jay. Have you ever, you met Oleta because I know you saw her over there.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
We're going to go see her sing. Come on over with me.
Let's do it.
Willow, are you over there? All right.
I'm hanging close to Oleta today.
Trying to get some of that osmosis going, learning how to sing, right?
Exactly.
Oleta, Jay Ramreth.
Yes, how are you, Jay?
Oh, you sing so beautifully.
Thank you.
Now see if you could bring dates to hear Oleta play, and that would be a done deal, probably.
You'd be married tomorrow, pal.
Like butter.
Yeah. All right. When we return, Oleta Adams. Become a better singer?
Most people have to take years and years of lessons to master the piano, but not Oleta Adams. When she was a child, she discovered she already knew how to play the piano when she sat down one day and just started to play. That can't possibly be a true story.
Well, it wasn't quite like I'm playing today.
No, not exactly.
It's called These Two Fingers.
Yes, right.
But you could sing when you were that age,
My
right?
son can do that.
Yeah, if you could stand up on your own, they put you in the choir. You know, that's the deal at my father's church, and it helped to have some place to sing. It really did.
And that was in Washington, state of Washington?
It was in the state of Washington, in Seattle and Yakima, Washington.
Now you became a pop star, and now, well, your first album sold a lot of albums. Come on now, Leah. And now this new album you have is really a gospel, and it's sort of a return to your original roots, right?
That's right, and in fact, for me, Christianity is a way of life. And it was about time for me to do. I didn't do the record sooner because it's the sort of thing that you expect a preacher's kid to do.
Yeah.
And I
don't really expect them to sing with Tears for Fears all that much.
I know.
Which you did.
Though probably a lot have, you know. But it was important for me, now that I am spiritually mature, to share a bit of the message that I have with others.
It's not going to typecast you. You don't think, I hope?
Not ever. I think people heard it in me a long time ago, and they were just waiting for it to come out.
Yeah.
What's the response been?
It's been really wonderful to listen to people tell me that their lives have really been blessed by the music, that they like to wake up with this music, and I think people can feel that spirituality in the music that I share with others anyway.
There are a lot of people right now who would like to be waking up to your music.
Yes.
So
Right. I hope my husband is watching.
I'm sure he is. He's the drummer in your band, right?
Yes, he's getting ready to go and teach Sunday school. So
okay. Turn the volume up there at home.
You're going to play us into commercial. Can we hang around and listen?
Oh, absolutely.
The album is called Come Walk With Me, and the song is called
Holy as a Lamb.
Holy as a Lamb. Oleta Adams.
Holy, 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 holy as the Lamb, holy as the Lamb. Blessed
Name that tune. What is that? What does it sound like?
Do that again.
When I get that feeling out there. Is that Marvin Gaye?
Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing.
Can you play that?
Adam, you're just being really polite right now.
Leah's going, oh my God, am I glad I didn't take him on tour. Before we go, we have a couple of program notes that we're obligated and we want to talk about. Later this morning on This Week with Cokie Roberts and Sam Donaldson, the UN Secretary General will be on the show on the showdown in Iraq, and tonight on World News Sunday, the latest location for offshore banking is here in the United States, and there isn't even an ocean in sight.
And tomorrow on Good Morning America, Bette Midler on Letters for Literacy, which is a celebrity auction that helps adults to learn to read.
There we go. That's all coming up.
Coming up.
Do we have a... We said that already. You said Good Morning America. We're already... I'm so nervous because I want to sing again.
Well, go for it.
No, I won't. We were talking, though. Can you do it? Willow has been trying to sing. She sung several times on this song, on the show.
And it's painful. We are the vocally challenged here. At least I'm vocally challenged.
How about a little experiment, okay? You sing a song, and Willow...
There you go.
I like that, Jay. That's very
Very good.
I didn't mean to step on you there. You sing a song, and Willow will lip sync it.
Okay, ready?
Is anybody going to buy this for a second? No.
Here we go.
Okay, what are we singing?
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost sniffing at your nose.
Not working yet. Go ahead.
You try. You couldn't do that any better. Oops.
Being sung by a choir and folks
dressed up like this.
Eskimo.
Dressed
Come on now.
up like Eskimo.
It's so sultry.
Okay, I've had about enough of that.
You know what the problem is? That my voice is so low and hers is so high.
You know, your family knows what you did with the voice singing lessons, don't they? When they ask you that question, you have an answer.
The season rise. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Tiny
How much time we have left? 1 minute left. All right, we're going to talk to Jay, too, after this song.
Yeah, why not?
With this in the background, Jay, welcome to New York. I hope you have a good time. How long are you going to stay here?
I'm going to stay here for a few more months. This is the most gracious city in the whole world. I think it's the center of the universe.
Don't you have like a business to run in Alaska?
Yes, and the people that are managing it are doing such a fabulous job. I'm completely indebted to them. I could not be enjoying this adventure without all my friends in Fairbanks.
But you know what's interesting is I don't think a lot of people would expect to hear said of New York that people have been as gracious.
I have met nothing but nice people. It's so lovely.
And lots of
nice
single
people
women
this
in New
morning.
York.
Yes, I haven't met some nice single women, but this morning I met some nice people. And some tickled.
Don't forget to go shopping for your friends back in Fairbanks.
Yeah, there you go.
There's so much retail
Tips
here.
from shopping.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah.
Enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thanks for having me.
Very good.
Go ahead, lip sync that. You know that one?
Yes. Let's sing.
Good Morning America Sunday has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.